So now that we are quite orientated in what's going on in our studio and what's going on inside this document, let me just quickly tell you about the aims of this assignment, because I do realize that it is a little bit overwhelming sometimes to learn statistics. It is overwhelming to confront R and R Studio for the first time, and one doesn't always know what is the point or where are we going with this. So the aim of basically teaching you a little bit of R during your biostats honors course is just so that you can do some of the statistics yourself, because that's probably the best way to learn statistics. It can be a struggle to just listen to someone explaining something if you can't do it for yourself and maybe calculate. It's much easier to understand what a mean is if you can calculate a mean for yourself. So that's the whole point of the R. You are not examined on R. So you're not going to be asked to write any code in the exam or get any answers with writing code or anything like that. So you're not getting marks for any R that you can write. So do not worry about that. Don't worry that you're never going to understand what's going on here and you're not going to get marks and you're going to fail. That's not the point of the R. You are not examined on any of the R code. There might be R output. So there might be results that are printed from R in the exam for you to interpret. But by that time you would have seen what it looks like and you won't be overwhelmed by it looking strange or anything. But you're not going to be required to write any code in R. So basically it's just to help you to be able to understand some of the statistics better. Part of the aim of the whole biostatistics block is also just to teach you some language. Sometimes people feel like statistics is hard to understand, but a large part of that is just the language. It's not normal language. It's not the language you use with your friends, and you never talk to anybody about these things, and so you never use these words. And so that's part of what makes statistics a bit daunting sometimes. It's just the language. So that's part of what we will also do in these assignments. And when I talk, I'll try to teach you the words. So things like variable. I'll say variable. And when I say variable, you must be thinking, oh, wait, she's talking about those columns. She's talking about a spreadsheet. Basically, my data is in a spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet you would be familiar with. And there may be participants in a study in the rows. And there are columns that maybe has the names of the participants and the age and the weight and the height. And those things, those columns, they are variables. So I'm going to try to teach you some of the language so that you start getting used to it. Also in R, like I said, it can be very overwhelming, and R is an absolutely amazing tool for statistics, and there are thousands and thousands of things you can do and thousands of functions available for you to use. And so also if you were going to Google how to do something in R on the internet, you will find many solutions, and you'll find 10 different ways to do exactly the same thing, and that's a good thing. But when you're starting out in R and starting to learn, that can be a very challenging thing, because you don't know which way should you now use. So to help you with that, basically we are sticking to just a few functions in these assignments, and we will always, even though for absolutely everything we do in this assignment you can do it in 15 different ways, we are going to stick to one way of doing something. But you can just know, if you want to learn R for yourself and you're going to continue using R later, you will find all sorts of ways to do the same thing, and you'll come up with the way that works best for you. But in this assignment, we're just going to stick with a very limited set of functions. and we'll use those over and over again. So you'll get used to it, and we won't overwhelm you with several different ways of doing the same thing. But at the same time, I want you to know that R can do much, much more than we are doing in these assignments. And you will not regret learning R if you see yourself analyzing your own data later, making your own plots. R is an absolutely wonderful tool for doing things like that.